seats were the wallpaper.
Thanks a lot, Emily.
You're welcome. My, isn't the moonlight terrible? And with choir practice going on, I bet if you hold your breath, you could hear the train all the way from Kentucky. Hear it?
What do you know?
Well, I guess I better get back and try to work.
Good night, Emily.
Night, George.
All right, that was good, but it ain't no miracle. Oh, before I forget, how many of you are able to make it Tuesday afternoon to Fred Hersey's wedding? Come on, let me see your hands. Hands. That'll be good. That'll be right nice. Now, let's try this again. You think we can get this over with tonight? Yeah? Come on. Go.
Blessed be the tie that binds
Yes, Bob.
our hearts in Christian love.
George, have a seat. This will only take a moment. George, how old are you now?
Me, I'm 16, almost 17.
Yeah. And, what is it you want to do, after high school?
Well, you know, I want to be a farmer on Uncle Luke's farm.
A farmer. That's right. So obviously you'll be willing to get up early, hoe and hay all day, milk and feed the stock.
Sure, well, Pa, what do you mean?
Well, George, while I was in my office today, I heard a funny sound. And what do you think it was, It was your mother chopping wood. Yes, there you see your mother, getting up early, cooking meals all day, washing and ironing. And still, she has to go out in the backyard and chop wood. I suppose she just got tired of asking you. She thought it'd be easier just to go and do it herself. And you eat the meals she makes for you and wear the clothes she keeps nice and run off to play baseball. Like she's some sort of hired help we keep around the house. We don't really like her very much. Well, all I have to do is call to your attention. Here's a handkerchief, son. George, I've decided to raise your allowance. Not, of course, for chopping wood for your mother, because that's the sort of present you give her, but because you're getting older. And I suspect that there's a lot of things you ought to be spending it on.
Thanks, Pa.
Let's see. Tomorrow's payday. You can count on it. I suppose Rebecca will think she ought to have some more, too. What could be keeping your mother? Choir practice never gets out this late before.
It's only 8:30, Pa.
You know, I don't know why she's in that old choir anyways. She hasn't got any more of her voice than an old crow. Well, I guess it's time for you to retire, huh?
Yes, Pa.
Good night, George.
Good night, Martha. Good night, Mr. Foster. I'll tell Mr. Webb. I know he'll want to put it in the paper. Right, it's late. Good night, Irma.
Real nice choir practice, wasn't it? Myrtle Webb, look at that moon, will you? Potato weather for sure.
Well, naturally, I didn't want to say a word in front of those others. But now we're alone. Really, it's the worst scandal that ever was in this town.
What?
Simon Stimson.
Luella.
Like Julia, to have the organist of a church drink and drunk year after year.
Luella.
Julia, you know he was drunk tonight.
Now, Luella, we all know about Mr. Stimson, and we all know about the problems he's having. And Dr. Ferguson knows too. And if Dr. Ferguson decides it's a good idea to keep him on the job, well then, The only thing the rest of us can do is just not to notice it.
Not to notice it, but it's getting worse.
No, it isn't, Luella. It's getting better. I've been in that car twice as long as you have, and it doesn't happen anywhere near so often. My, I hate to go to bed on a night like this. Gracious, I'd better hurry. Those children will be sitting up till all hours. Good night, Luella. Julia. Good night, Myrtle. Will you be able to get home safe, Luella?
Oh, it's as bright as day. I can see Mr. Soames scowling at the windows now. You'd think we'd been to a dance the way the men folk carry on. Good night, Julia.
Good night, Luella.
See you on Sunday.
See you then. Well, we had a real good time.
Mm-hmm. You're late enough.
Why, Frank, it ain't any later than usual.
Stopping at the corner of the gossip with a lot of hens.
Now, Frank, don't be so grouchy. Come on.
No.
Oh, come on. Yep. Let's go. Isn't this wonderful?
Uh-huh.
So, what did you do all the time I was out?
Oh, the usual. Red. So, what were the girls gossiping about tonight?
Oh, Frank, there certainly was something to gossip about.
Simon Stimson far gone, was he?
Oh, that was the worst I've seen him. How will that end, Frank? Dr. Ferguson can't forgive him forever.
Well, I suppose I know more about Simon Simpson's affairs than anyone in this town. No, it seems that some people just aren't made for small town life. I don't know how that'll end, but there's nothing we can do about it. Come on, let's get in.
No. Frank, I'm worried about you.
Well, what are you worried about?
I think it's my duty to make sure that you get a real rest and...
Oh, no.
And if I get that legacy, well, I'm just going to insist upon it.
Now, Julia, there's no sense in going over that again.
Oh, Frank, you are just being unreasonable.
Oh, no. Come on, now. Let's get inside before you know it, you're to death of cold. Why, I spoke to George tonight. Yeah, I don't think you'll have to worry about chopping wood. Well, for a while, anyway.
My, it always seems like there's so much to come, doesn't it? You know, Frank, Miss Fairchild locks her door every night. Everyone in that part of town does.
Well, they're just getting city-fied, that's the trouble with them. They have anything fit to burgle and they know it.
Get out, Rebecca. There's only room for one in this window.
Let me look just a minute.
There's your own window.
I did, but there's no moon there. George, do you know what I think? Do you? I think maybe the moon's getting nearer and nearer, and there will be a big explosion.
Rebecca, you don't know anything. If the moon were getting nearer, the men that set up all night on the telescopes would see it, and they'd tell us about it, and it would be in all the newspapers.
George, is the moon shining on South America, Canada, and half the whole world?
Well, probably is.
9:30. Most of the lights on town are out. There's Constable Warren checking a few doors on Main Street. And here comes Editor Webb after putting his paper to bed.
Hi, good evening, Bill.
Evening, Mr. Webb.
It's quite a moon.
Yeah.
Is it all quiet tonight?
Simon Stimson going around a little. Just saw his wife go down in the corner, so I looked the other way. There he is now.
Good evening, Simon. The town seems to have settled down for the night. Good evening. Yes, most of the town's settled down for the night, Simon. I suppose maybe we should do the same? Can I walk along with you? Good night.
I don't know how that's going to end, Mr. Webb.
Well, he's seen a peck of trouble one thing after another. Hey, Bill. Did you happen to see my boy smoking any cigarettes? Just give him a word, will you? He thinks a lot of you, Bill.
I don't think your boy smokes no cigarettes, Mr. Webb. At least wait, not more than 2 or 3 a year.
I hope not. Good night, Bill.
Good night, Mr. Webb.
Who is that up there? Is that you, Myrtle?
No, it's me, Papa.
Why aren't you in bed?
I don't know. I just can't sleep yet. The moonlight's so wonderful. And Mrs. Gibbs' heliotropes. Can you smell them?
Yeah. You haven't any troubles on your mind, have you, Emily?
Troubles, Papa? No.
Well, don't let your mother catch you up here. Good night, Emily.
Good night, Papa. I never told you about that letter Jane Crawford received from her minister when she was sick. He wrote her letter, and on the envelope, it was like this. It said, Jane Crawford, the Crawford Farm, Grover's Corners, Sutton County, New Hampshire, the United States of America.
What's so funny about that?
But wait, it's not finished. The United States of America, the continent of North America, the Western Hemisphere, the Earth, the solar system, the universe, the mind of God. That's what it said on the envelope.
What do you know?
Yep, and the postman delivered it just the same.
What do you know?
That's the end of the first act, folks. You can go out and smoke now. Those that smoke. Gone by. The sun's come up over 1,000 times. Summers and winters have cracked the mountains a little bit more. And the rain has brought down some of the dirt. Some babies who weren't even born yet have begun talking regular sentences. And some folks who thought they were right young and spry have noticed that they can't bound a flight of steps like they used to. That their hearts fluttering a little. All that can happen in 1,000 days. Nature has been pushing and contriving in other ways, too. A number of young folks fell in love and got married. Yes, the mountain got a bit away a few fractions of an inch. Millions of gallons of water have passed by the mill, and here and there a new house was set up under a roof. Almost everybody in the world gets married. You know what I mean? And in our town, there aren't hardly any exceptions. Most everybody crawls in their grave married. The first act is called the daily life. This act is called love and marriage. So, it's 3 years later. It's July 7th. It's 1904, just after high school commencement. This is when most of our young folks jump up and get married. Right after they've passed their examinations in solid geometry and Cicero's orations. They suddenly feel themselves fit to get married. It's early morning again. Only this time, it's been raining. It's been pouring and thundering. Mrs. Gibbs' garden and Mrs. Webb's here, drenched. All those pea vines and bean poles, drenched. All yesterday, along Main Street, the rain looked like curtains being blown along. Don't know now. Maybe begin again any minute. There's the 5:10 train for Boston. And here come Mrs. Gibb and Mrs. Webb down to make their breakfast, just as if it were any ordinary day. I don't have to point out to the women in the audience that both these ladies that you see before you have cooked 3 meals a day, one of them for 20 years, the other for 40, and no summer vacation. They raised 2 children apiece, washed and cleaned the house, and never had a nervous breakdown. Never thought themselves hard used, either. It's like what one of those Western poets said. You have to love life to have life. You have to have life to love life. It's what they call a vicious circle.
Get out, Bessie.
And here comes Howie Newsom delivering the milk. And here comes Cy Kroll delivering the papers just like his brother before him.
Morning, Howie.
Morning, Si. Anything in the paper I have to know?
No. Except we're losing about the best dang baseball pitcher Grover's Corners ever had.
I reckon he is.
Now all he'll be doing is pitching hay.
Morning, Bessie. Guess I can't stop and talk if I got a mind to.
You can hit too. I run bases.
I am a mighty fine ball player.
How can you give up such a thing just to get married? Would you have, Howie?
Can't tell, Si never had no talent that way. Morning, Howie. Morning, Bill. You're up early.
Morning, Mr. Warren.
Seeing if there's anything I can do to prevent a flood. River's been rising all night.
Si Kroll here is all upset because George Gibbs retired from baseball.
That's the way it goes. 84, we had a player side. Even George Gibbs couldn't touch him. Name of Hank Todd. Went down to Maine and became a parson. Wonderful ball player. Howie, how's weather seem to you?
Oh, it ain't bad.